The theme, equality and inclusive education for girls' empowerment, a strategic tool for ending harmful practices. This theme aligns perfectly with the priority theme of the 68th session of the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women, the CSW. I'd like to applaud the commitments made by EU member states, development partners, CSOs, youth and activists working on the intersection of education, child protection, and gender for pushing efforts for girls' and women's education. It is worth noting that the African Union, through the Agenda 2063, is committed to having well-educated citizens who have a high standard of living, quality of life, and well-being. Through Aspiration 6 of the Agenda 2063, more specifically, the African Union envisions an Africa whose development is people-driven, relying on the potential of African people, especially its women and youth, and caring for children. Drawing from the articulation of Sustainable Development Goal number 4 on education and the Continental Education Strategy, the Continental Strategy CSW68, education has been evidenced as a high-impact tool for achieving gender equality, ending poverty, reducing economic, political, and inequalities, and eliminating harmful socio-cultural practices. Under different socio-economic and political crisis contexts, millions of students are affected and out of school with gender-related vulnerabilities and inequalities, placing female learners at a higher risk of not returning to school. And we have witnessed this also during the COVID-19 epidemic, an issue that could derail Africa's development. Some of the gender-related vulnerabilities affecting girls include early and forced marriages, early pregnancies, displacements, and diminished economic opportunities and susceptibility to harmful cultural practices like female genital mutilation. AU is dedicating the year 2024 to education. The outcome 7 of the roadmap related to this theme aims to enhance and protect equitable access to quality education for girls and women, youth, people with disabilities, and children, especially in emergencies and conflict contexts, a mandate that falls directly under the Department of Education, Science, Technology, and Innovation. In a quest to accelerate girls' and women's education, recover learning losses, guarantee learning continuity, there is a need to develop effective and transformative multi-sectoral responses. The African Union, through various departments like Humanitarian and Social Affairs and the African Union CIEFFA, supports AU member states to adopt affirmative actions and policies to accelerate girls' and women's education and strengthen child protection services. The Dakar Declaration, following the Education Expert Meeting in June 2022, organized by our department, issued a strong call to action to AU member states to prioritize legislative and policy reform to guarantee the reintegration and continued learning for all children, particularly for all girls and adolescents in and out of school. Furthermore, investing and utilizing gender disaggregated evidence will effectively assist in advocacy, legislation, and policy reforms. This is in line with some of the Transforming Education Summit commitments and recommendations. The Africa Educates Her campaign, in particular, has been instrumental in engaging member states, CSOs, youth, development partners, focal points in gender and education ministries across the continent and the Pan-African Parliament. Through the campaign, Progress for Girls' Education has been forefronted. Achieving progress for girls' and women's education is dependent on many factors, including strengthened partnerships, as we see in the collaboration and joint organization of this event. Furthermore, advocacy driven by accurate and disaggregated data, gender-responsive policy reform, as well as targeted funding and prioritizing girls' and women's education is key. If we synergistically formulate and implement relevant strategies and center girls' and children's voices, then we will achieve this ambitious goal for accelerating girls' and women's education and strengthening child protection. We further make a call to all key education stakeholders present here and the member states to join hands towards the upcoming Pan-African Conference on Girls' Education, which is planned to take place between the 20th and the 24th May 2024. With this, I wish you all successful deliberations, and I thank you for listening.